Oh, is it not going to let me play the intro?
I had trouble with that too when I was hosting the horror hangout. Like I don't know what like they want you to upgrade the plan or something. Like they're trying to get you to
Yeah. It says the free plan
spend
comes with
money or something.
Yeah, it says it comes with the free plan comes with an example video. If you'd like to share your own videos, check out our upgraded plans. So, okay,
Yeah.
guess we can't show the intro. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, welcome to the Morbid Hour. It's Hammer time. We're going to count down our top 10 favorite Hammer horror films, and then we're going to list our top 5 favorite albums by the band Queensrÿche. So, sorry we're a little bit late. We're about 10 minutes late this time. I was having issues with my laptop. So, looks like 1-2 is already in the chat. How's it going, 1-2?
Freddy's coming for you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. And Daniel Krilov's in the chat. How's it going, Daniel?
Hello.
Welcome.
Yo. All right, so top 10 Hammer. Who wants to start us off with their number 10 choice?
I'll do it.
Do it.
Right.
Coming in at number 10 for me is going to be Dracula AD 1972.
Nice.
I think overall this film is just a pleasant watch. You know, it's not one of the greatest, it's not one of the worst. It's like a really good fun movie. You can tell it's a part of like a different continuity with certain time periods and how things worked out, but you know, overall I enjoyed the 70s vibe to it. The music's a little off here and there. But of course, it's still great to have Peter Cushing as a descendant of Van Helsing. But yeah, Christopher Lee still fantastic in the role. It's just a lot of fun. So, Dracula AD 1972.
Dracula dies twice in that movie.
I think that movie's kind of underrated. I think it's a cool idea to bring Dracula to a more contemporary setting. You know, a modern, a modern setting, or at least what was modern at the time. I actually like the movie. Yeah, it's great to see Peter Cushing finally return after being absent for most of the sequels prior to that. And the hippie characters drive me crazy a little bit, but it's always great to see Peter Cushing as Van Helsing face off against Christopher Lee's Dracula. Yeah. It's sad that we really only had 3 movies with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, but it's always great to see them. So I think that movie's very underrated. I actually really enjoy it.
And the introducing the lovely Carolyn Monroe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. She was a horror. She was a scream queen. She was a Bond girl. Everything. Yeah. Really cool.
It's definitely a fun one.
Yeah, I enjoy it. All right, so I guess I'll go next so we can do our little clockwise thing. It's just easier for my OCD. It's hard to pick 10, especially since there are some that I haven't seen as much as the others, and some of them I haven't watched in years. And there's like even a few that I haven't ever seen, or at least not that I remember. But I think I came up with a mostly definitive list. I hope I do it justice because I love Hammer horror. But like I said, I need to rewatch. There's several that I need to rewatch. But anyway, I think my number 10 is going to be Twins of Evil, which is the third and final installment of the Karnstein trilogy. Which the 3 films are very loosely connected. Like the continuity is not very strong. There's like a recurring character or two and some themes. The Carmilla or she's got like all kinds of other names.
Mercala.
Yeah, like she's got like 3 or 4 names. That kind of ties it together. But yeah, the films barely follow each other. But I do really like this one. I think it's a huge step up from Lust for a Vampire, which is the second film, which is the only one that I think is one of the weaker ones. I don't think it's terrible. I wouldn't even say it's bad, but it's nowhere near as good as the first film, Vampire Lovers, or this one, which I think improved on it. Definitely a great installment. Yeah, it's really I love watching all 3 movies back to back, and I always really look forward to this one because I think it's a great finale to the series. It's always great to see. The great Peter Cushing, of course. He doesn't have like a very prominent role. His role's not too big, but Hammer did a really good job with vampires in general.
But
so,
he's really good
pretty
in
much
it,
all
though.
their vampire movies, I think, are very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's always great. Yeah, he makes anything good. I wish he could have been in a little more, but yeah, it's still a great movie and definitely a worthy follow-up and conclusion to the Karnstein trilogy.
And of
Tim's
course,
favorite Hammer horror, Twins of Evil.
Of course, the Collinson twins were Playboy models.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought they did very good. As having never really had much acting experience,
Yeah.
I thought they were good.
Yeah, they were believable enough. Yeah. Gory
I like
Tigers
that
in the
dynamic.
Chat. What's up?
Like how one was, going to the bad side, and then you had the one good girl like on the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Twins of Evil, yeah. Integrity 101 is in the chat. What's up?
How's it going?
Thanks for coming.
So my number 10 is going to be Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
Nice.
Wish I had a better version of this. I can't afford that big ass, one that Hammer just came out with, the 4K. That thing is loaded.
I've got it on Blu-ray.
Super fun movie. And bringing some humor into it too. I love the characters. I love Captain Kronos is a cool, almost like a swashbuckling pirate mixed with a little bit of Bond, cool and suave,
Absolutely.
And once again, you got Carolyn Monroe in there. Even though she's clad in dirty, messed up clothes, she's still beautiful. And yeah, I really like John Carson in it as well.
Same.
It does have, even though it does have kind of a lighter side, it does have a few scary parts to it too,
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the most fun Hammer films, I think.
I think it's maybe just a little more action-packed than some of the usual Hammer.
Yeah, that's true too.
It has kind of an adventure feel to it a little bit.
Yeah. Like I said, that kind of Three Musketeers kind of swashbuckling adventure thing going.
Yeah. Got some humorous moments too here and there. I thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very fun flick. That almost made my top 10. That'd probably be number 11, honestly. I wanted that to be on my list so bad. It almost made it. It was in and out of my list several times of the guys I was putting it together.
One of the best without Christopher Lee or Peter Cushing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Great pick.
Yeah, it's a great choice. For sure.
Well, number 9 for me, this one has a lot of nostalgia. So for me, it's going to be Horror of Frankenstein.
Ooh, nice.
I really dig this one, mainly because this was the first Hammer Frankenstein film I saw. Yeah, the first one that didn't feature Peter Cushing. But I think Ralph Bates does a good job as a young Victor Frankenstein. And the overall story, I can tell they tried to inject some more humor into this movie as opposed to the other ones. But I still really dug it. I think David Prowse as the creature this time around is really good. He kind of has a more similar look to a classic Frankenstein's monster, the head shape and stuff. And I think the overall defeat of the monster was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah. It was by accident.
Yeah. It's just like a no, and then drop.
Whoops.
But yeah, this was the first one I saw for the Frankenstein franchise, and I really dug it. So yeah, I think it's pretty underrated. So Horror of Frankenstein.
I like it. I like David Prowse as the monster. I actually like the way he looks. He was he of course played Darth Vader in the costume, and then he also played the monster in the following film, Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, which saw Peter Cushing returning in the role. Yeah, Horror of Frankenstein's kind of like a remake of Curse of Frankenstein. It's like starts the continuity over. It's interesting because it's the only one without Peter Cushing, and with Ralph Bates as the doctor. And Ralph Bates does a great job. He's really he can play an evil villain really well. He's actually kind of scary.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah, there's some cheesy moments, but I think it's really enjoyable. And yeah, like you said, when they defeat the monster is kind of anticlimactic, and it's just it feels like it was open for a sequel, like kind of a cliffhanger, like they were going to make another one with Ralph Bates, but they never did. They went back to Cushing. Sorry, Sean, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say it's probably the most brutal monster out of any of them. He's hacking up people with an axe, and
it's got that no weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has a pretty cool look. Yeah, a lot of people think it's kind of a silly design, but I kind of like it. Looks a lot better than the one in the next movie. That big ape looking thing. That was ridiculous. Gosh, I
actually really enjoy that movie, but that's still the least thing I like about it.
Well, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Other than that, other than the monster, it's actually pretty good. Peter Cushing, he's always fun to watch. He's just always great. He can make a bad movie like into a good movie just by being in it.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, so my number 9 is going to be none other than The Plague of the Zombies. I almost went with Captain Kronos over this. It's very, very, very close. I might prefer this ever so slightly. I really need to rewatch them both. Neither one of them are that fresh in my mind. But yeah, this actually predates Night of the Living Dead, which I think is probably the most important zombie movie ever made. And of course, George Romero's zombie movies are the zombie movies of today owe a lot to George Romero. But this one came first, and it definitely shouldn't be overlooked. It's very, very different from like the Romero zombie movies and all the zombie movies that came later. Like before the Romero films, zombies were almost always like involved with voodoo somehow. Later it became all about science, but like before Romero, zombies were always like tied to black magic. That was actually kind of the definition of a zombie, like the Haitian voodoo, like being brought back to serve their master, or some kind of like voodoo master or something. There was always something like that, before Romero came, and Night of the Living Dead was like a game changer and set a new standard for zombie movies. But I really like ones like this and like White Zombie and I Walked with a Zombie. Kind of the older style. So it's very different from what came later. But yeah, very enjoyable. It's got some really genuinely creepy moments. Pretty fleshed out characters too for the most part. I would say. It's like this doctor. He's and his mentor like trying to find the answer. There's like an epidemic is spread, get across the village, like their community, and like they're discovering more and more that like voodoo's involved and like people coming back from the dead. Kind of an interesting mystery aspect to it as well. But yeah, I still think it's a very enjoyable movie. Definitely one of the better Hammer horror films. I think kind of underrated and overlooked. I don't see this one talked about very much, but I definitely recommend it. I think it's very, very good.
Nice.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
My number 9 is the same, The Plague of the Zombies.
Oh, right.
I agree. Yeah, this, like you said, this came out a few years before Night of the Living Dead, and I think this is a really good zombie movie. I love the look of the zombies in this movie too. Like the makeup job is really cool.
Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah, some good, genuinely scary scenes, like when they dig up the one girl and they open her grave up and she comes to life, and the doctor's like zombie, and it's a scene similar that reminds me of Evil Dead when she jumps out at him, they hack her head off with the shovel. I think Sam Raimi must have been watching.
Yeah, definitely. It does remind me a lot of that, Evil Dead.
I love John Carson as the villain. You know, he's the leader of this voodoo cult. You know, pretty cool the way he's like the voodoo doll and the
very
the rituals they do with the the tribal drums and the pretty cool mask he has too.
It's actually kind of gruesome. The zombies do look good, and when he sneaks up behind him and chokes him and stuff. And, I love the delivery of that line, "Zombie."
That guy's really good, and too, the guy, I forget his name, but he was Andre Morel. He was also in The Hound of the Baskervilles as the doctor. He's really good. I love the score in the film. The music is really good. Yeah, it's an awesome flick, man.
Nice.
Like you said, very underrated. Not enough people talk about it. It's one of the great precursors to Night of the Living Dead, of course.
Yeah, it came out in 1965, didn't it?
Something like that. Let me see. 1966, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, 1966. That's when Dracula Prince of Darkness came out. I think they were a double feature. I think they showed them together.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. It was like a double feature with Prince of Darkness. That would have been a really cool double feature to see back then.
There's one crazy scene that I love when the fox hunters come by trying to chase the fox, and the girl tells her, it went that way trying to save the fox. And then they come back to in the middle of a dude's funeral, and they're carrying the casket above the heads, and they just knock him over, and they knock the casket, and the body falls out. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I pushed the envelope a little bit for back then, I would say. For back then, had to be pretty intense, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The girl opens her eyes, and then your face looks all like...
Nice. Number 8 for me. I know many people would have this film higher, and that's completely fine. I just have a few that I prefer. But that's actually going to be Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Still in my top 10. I still love it. I think, like a lot of people would agree, the biggest downfall is there's no lines from Dracula at all.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things about Dracula is the way he talks, the way he's inviting. But I think Christopher Lee overall has such a great presence that it was almost enough just to have him back in this. There's still some great scenes, some great kills and everything. But it's just one of those movies that over time I've seen a lot of people really love this one. And I do too, but I don't have like as much love as some other people do. But yeah, I've enjoyed this film, but there's just some that I prefer over it. But yeah, it still made it in my top 10. It's still a great film. Christopher Lee still kicks ass as Dracula, my personal favorite Dracula. So yeah, Prince of Darkness.
Good choice.
Yeah. I think I love Barbara Shelley in the film. I think she almost steals it because
she's great.
She has a great one of my probably my favorite performance by her, because she starts off the film very scared and very much kind of the damsel in distress. But then of course when Christopher Lee turns her, and then she's like the seductress vampire,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, the fact that Christopher Lee's Dracula is mute and has no dialogue, no lines, and is silent through the whole movie is definitely a pretty big flaw. Like, that's the main drawback. I think that it does hurt the movie a little bit. It does lose points, but I think the movie's just still so good that it makes up for it. Like you said, he definitely does still have a great presence. It's just being silent, I think, doesn't work for characters like Dracula. It works for Frankenstein's monster. It works for Michael Myers. It works for Jason. It doesn't work for Dracula. But, especially if it's Christopher Lee. If Christopher Lee's playing Dracula, I want to hear his awesome dialogue.
Yeah.
It's kind of charming, debonair etiquette, and then, like, his more threatening, like, like evil taunts and stuff. Christopher Lee has such a great voice, that deep booming, commanding, intimidating voice, and we have an entire movie where we don't hear him talk. It worked in Curse of Frankenstein. He was the Frankenstein monster. That worked, but it doesn't work for Dracula. But it's still a great movie for sure.
It definitely has, I think, the best resurrection of Dracula. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, cuts the throat and drips the blood on the ashes.
Yeah,
Reanimates.
badass.
Cool. Yeah, I loved that when I was a kid.
But the ending, I don't know.
Yeah, the way they defeated Dracula was a little silly, a little unorthodox. I think they could have come up with something better. I don't like the whole vampires are vulnerable to running water because they're already vulnerable to holy water, and then now they're just vulnerable to all water. Come on.
I know, right?
So they can't take a shower.
Yeah.
How do they
You spray a freaking water hose on them?
Just wash themselves off. I guess they can't take a shower. Yeah, I'll just spray. Yeah, exactly. I'll spray a hose on them. Be done with it. I don't need a wooden stake or anything like that. Just spray them with a freaking hose. Gosh. Yeah, the vampires have way too many weaknesses and the hair fails. But I guess they had to come up with a different way to kill them each time. So they had to get a bit creative because they couldn't just do sunlight or a staking every single top. So they had to come up with something else. So just have them fall in the water and be frozen in the ice. Sure. All right, so is it my turn?
Yep.
All right, so my number 8 is actually going to be another movie that doesn't have Christopher Lee or Peter Cushing. It's going to be Curse of the Werewolf.
Nice.
It was the only werewolf movie made by Hammer. They did 9 Dracula movies, 7 Frankenstein movies, 4 Mummy movies, only 1 werewolf movie. But it's pretty good. It's very, very different. It's not there you go. Leon Corleto, I think is his name, played by the great Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed was an awesome actor. I really liked him, and he was just a badass. He's really, really good in this. It's a very different backstory. Usually, the main character gets bitten by a werewolf, then they become a lycanthrope themselves and transform the full moon. This is a little different. Basically, they imprison this guy at the beginning, this beggar, this homeless man or something, and he's in prison for all day. He goes crazy. Then he rapes this woman, and then she gives birth to the man, Leon Corleto, the man who they kind of slowly transforms into a werewolf. And we don't really get a good look at the werewolf until towards the very end, which I think could be a good or bad thing depending on how you look at it. It's good because the suspense, it keeps you watching the movie because you want to see what it looks like. Even though that is the cover of most releases, but you kind of want to see it in action. But it's kind of bad because it does kind of take a little too long, maybe. But like I said, I like suspenseful stuff. I like when it kind of keeps you waiting. The whole less is more thing. But yeah, it is still really, really good. Like I said, the acting by Oliver Reed is terrific. I think he really carries the movie. The supporting cast is pretty good too. Terrence Fisher directed this one also. He did a lot of the Hammer movies. It's a really good flick. I recommend it. Like I said, it's the only werewolf flick that Hammer ever did, and I think it's a really good one. It'd been cool if they would have did more, but I think this could basically be their answer to Universal's The Wolf Man, since they basically were remaking the Universal monsters and as in their own doing their own version of the Universal monsters. So I think this is kind of be like their version of the Wolf Man, even though it's very, very, very different.
I thought it was interesting, the whole backstory on how he came about. It's pretty messed up too.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty brutal movie. It's kind of disturbing. Very different backstory, very unique, very distinct, I would say, from the usual. Oh, I just got bit by a werewolf and now I'm turning into one. Those was very different. I kind of like it. It's probably I think it's in my top 5 favorite werewolf movies, along with American Werewolf in London, The Howling, Silver Bullet, The Wolf Man. I think that'd probably be my number 5.
Nice.
I love the makeup job too, and a really cool look to the werewolf.
Yeah, he looks great. Doesn't it take place in Spain?
I haven't seen it in a long time. It's been a while.
It's been a while for me too. It's not for me. And none of
Yeah.
these are really fresh in my mind. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like I think it's in Spain or something. Yeah, it's like he's cursed and stuff. Yeah, it's very, very different. Pretty good cinematography and scenery too. It has kind of that gothic that feel that Hammer is very known for.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with that, the scenery and the setting and stuff, the mood, the tone.
Absolutely. So my number 8 is going to be The Mummy,
Right.
with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. And I actually prefer this over the Universal monster version. I love this movie. It's got a lot. I feel like it's got a lot more action, a lot more of the mummy in action. Taking people out. Christopher Lee is awesome in the role too.
Absolutely.
And Peter Cushing is just always awesome. I mean, he does a great job. I love the opening too when you see the Karis, right?
Yes.
And you see Christopher Lee without the makeup, where it's almost like the opposite in the in the Universal version. You see him outside of the makeup in the whole movie, really, except for the one scene,
Right.
Here he's like the monster the whole time, and he's like indestructible. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more action-packed than the 1932 Universal movie with Boris Karloff, but it's actually more of a remake of The Mummy's Hand, which had Karis instead of Imhotep. Karis is the one who's always in the bandages and walks like this and is silent and usually has something controlling him. Imhotep was more, he talked and like had a plan. He was more like a more like menacing villain. He was like kind of in control. Karis is usually a pawn. Whereas Imhotep was more like the master pulling the strings. Karis is usually just used as like somebody's servant or slave, and doesn't really have much of a personality of his own. So it's really a remake of Mummy's Hand with some elements of the Mummy's Tomb and the Mummy's Ghost, and maybe even a little bit of the Mummy's Curse in there. So it's kind of more of a combination of all the Karis Universal Mummies film. But it took a few things from the 1932, the original The Mummy with Karloff. Like I think. Didn't that one have the scroll of life and stuff? Like I think
right.
Yeah, I think this one did that too. Yeah, the 1959 Hammer film, The Mummy, I think had the the scroll of life because the Karis Universal movies had the Tana leaves. I think what resurrected him, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. So it kind of took elements of all of them, all the Universal Mummy movies. But it was
not to take anything away from Boris Karloff in the original was great. He had a great performance. I just wanted to see the monster more and more action. It's very slow moving,
Yeah, The Mummy's Hand definitely did have a little more action. It was kind of more of an action adventure and even had some humor. Yeah, the first The Mummy, which I love with Boris Karloff, it's definitely a slow burn. There's really not any action to speak of. It's very, very slow, just kind of more creepy and suspenseful. So yeah, the 1959 Hammer The Mummy definitely takes a lot more from the Karis version of the character, the Karis Mummy.
Yep.
And not so much the Imhotep one, though it does have some elements of the backstory in there. But Imhotep and Karis both had a very, very similar backstory, so much so that they even showed footage of the same backstory in The Mummy's Hand with Karis that they did for Imhotep. Even with Boris Karloff in stock footage played in faraway shots. There was Tom Tyler in the close-ups who played Karis in The Mummy's Hand. Then Chris Lon Chaney Jr. played him in the next three. Yeah, Christopher Lee does a great job as Karis in The Mummy. And of course, Peter Cushing's always good. Yeah, he plays Banning, I think. Yep. That was also a character in The Mummy's Hand.
Nice. Well, number 7 for me is going to be Dracula Has Risen from the Grave.
Nice.
I know my list is absolutely exciting, but I've explained my comfort was always with the Dracula and Frankenstein. So I never really delved too deep into the other films, which I need to do. But I still managed to come up with a top 10 list, so that's good. Um, but yeah, uh, Dracula's Risen from the Grave is the follow-up to Prince of Darkness, and Dracula talks again, so that's a plus right there. And I think this definitively has my favorite death of Dracula. When the cross is impaled and he
Yeah.
looks to the sky and he's bleeding from the eyes, that is an epic way to kill the character. This film also has some great shots in it, like colors and stuff, and it's just really cool. So, yeah, Dracula's Risen from the Grave. Like I said, that death scene, I know there's a lot of Dracula deaths, and some of them are kind of, it was a great movie, but that death was like, eh. But that death was just like killer. I loved that. And of course, as always, Christopher Lee is excellent as the character. One thing about a lot of the Dracula films is that you kind of wish Peter Cushing was in a lot of them, because you just love that. You just love that dynamic between the two. But I still think overall they did a great job. And I know this film has a Paul in it, which of course Dracula loves the name Paul. Every movie, Paul.
In the Frankenstein movies, it was Hans. The Dracula, it's Paul. They love the name Carl too.
Yeah.
And there was a Paul character in the first Frankenstein Hammer movie too.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And you know,
Paul, Hans, and Carl.
like you guys were talking about how they change up the rules a lot. I believe it was this one that, oh, you can stake Dracula, but no, you got to pray now and believe. And it's just like, oh, so you got to do that now. But the character's an atheist, so it's harder. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of what?
Yeah, I guess they had to try something different.
Yeah.
He does have a very awesome, very definitive death. Maybe the best one of the whole series in that one.
Yes.
Really cool.
I thought it was interesting, that element, the religious element, where you had the Monsignor and then, and then the young girl going out with the a guy who's an atheist, and then when they bring him over to meet the Monsignor, and when he explains everything and is like appalled,
Yeah, then the priest becomes Dracula's servant.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that movie rated G for some reason? Like,
I think so. Yeah, that's
that
right.
scene's kind of gruesome, especially
It's
for
pretty
back then.
it's pretty bloody. It's pretty violent.
Eyes are bleeding and everything. Like rated G, really? It's the same rating as like Monsters Inc. Really?
Some heavy, sexuality in there too.
Yeah. I think the next one, or one of it, I think Taste the Blood and Scars of Dracula might have been rated R too. So
yeah,
it's pretty weird that a G and an R are in the same series.
You would think it would at least be PG, but
yeah.
And I remember when I used to work at Blockbuster Video. I'm like, oh, it's G rated. I guess I can play it on the screen. So I played it on the screen in the store.
Nice.
And people were like, wow, what's this?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow, it's Dracula.
All right, so is it my turn?
Yep.
All right, so my next one is going to be none other than The Vampire Lovers.
Nice.
The first film of the Karnstein trilogy, and sadly, the only one starring Ingrid Pitt, which she's just great. She is awesome. Wish she could have been in all three of them. That'd have been really cool. Yeah, that'd have been a lot better. Yeah, aside from Hammer's Dracula movies, this is definitely my favorite vampire film that they ever did, aside from the Dracula ones. Yeah, it's a really, really good movie. And it really pushed the envelope for back then. It was very, very sexual, and you had like some themes with like lesbianism and stuff, which again was very revolutionary and groundbreaking for back then. It was definitely something that hadn't been done very much. before up to that point. So
Yeah.
it was very, very, really, really pushed the envelope. Like I said, really good storyline, great supporting cast, great characters. Peter Cushing's in this one as well, and he doesn't have like a very big role either, much like in Twins of Evil. But it's always great to see him. He always makes everything better. Like I said, and of course, like I said, Ingrid Pitt's always great. Great cast, really good storyline. The backstory is a little confusing. It's kind of hard to follow, and like it almost feels like they contradict themselves a few times. There might be maybe a plot hole or two involved with some of the things. Maybe I need to rewatch it again. Maybe just not fresh in my mind enough. But I feel like there's a few elements that were kind of confusing, but it's still done very, very well. I think it's a spectacular movie, and definitely one of the best things Hammer's ever done. It's probably my favorite thing they ever did that wasn't like a remake of one of the Universal monsters.
Yeah.
Kind of their own thing. That's based on the Carmilla character, which I guess that story predates Dracula by Bram Stoker, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Dracula novel. It's one of the oldest vampire stories, allegedly. So that's pretty interesting. So it's pretty cool if they adapted that as well. Really good movie. Yeah, it's pretty violent, pretty bloody here and there. Yeah, very sexual. And it's got some really erotic scenes. So it's definitely a movie that you wouldn't want to watch with family, because there's a lot of really sensual scenes that, like I said, were very, very really, really pushed it for 1970. It kind of has like that exploitation style that the 70s horror would be known for a little bit, kind of like when in its infant stage.
Yeah, true.
But really, really good movie. I really need to rewatch this again. It's been a while, because I remember it enough, but I need to watch it again. It's been a few years. It's definitely worth revisiting because it's really, really
I love
really
it.
Good. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Next one up for me is going to be another classic with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, which I have as part of this collection. I don't have a solo disc of it yet, but The Gorgon. Really good movie. Awesome. Once again, that classic gothic tone and atmosphere that Hammer is so well known for. Excellent performances all around. I do love the look of the Gorgon itself, even though they didn't quite get the animatronics on her head with the snakes to work that well. But they were smart enough to kind of keep her in the background for the most part, like Jaws in a way. But that's what makes it very effective too, I think. Kind of the notion that she's around and Peter Cushing's kind of a bad guy in this one too.
Yeah, that's right.
It's cool to see him in that kind of role too. Kind of the evil doctor in this one, more so than Frankenstein even.
He excels at playing both a hero and a villain.
It's cool you get to see her turn people into stone and stuff.
Nice.
I also have that collection.
Oh, you have that one, huh?
Yeah, I have that same collection that you have. I have another Hammer horror collection too that has Curse of the Werewolf and Evil Frankenstein and Brides of Dracula and then a few others. I think Paranoia.
I have that too. Yeah, I think I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it has Paranoiac and Nightmare on it too. I don't think it has Scream of Fear. I don't remember what all it has.
This one has Scream of Fear. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That one has one of the Mummy movies too. Doesn't that have Curse in the Mummy's Tomb?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. That was the second
two
one.
Faces of Dr. Jekyll.
Yep. Yeah, I've got that.
That's
one
another
too.
good one.
Yeah, the Gorgon's really good. That one almost made my list too. It's a really good movie. Yeah, the makeup effect is a little hokey, but it kind of looks cool sometimes. And yeah, they did kind of keep it in the shadows. It's almost kind of sort of like a werewolf movie in some respects. Like it's almost like
In
a
a
werewolf
way,
movie
yeah.
without the werewolf, just like just a different kind of monster. They always loved like Greek mythology, like the Medusa character, like her two sisters, the three Gorgons and stuff. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, the snake in the hair, turning people to stone. It's really awesome.
Awesome score too.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like I listen to it on my iTunes sometimes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hammer had some awesome scores, man.
Oh yeah, great soundtrack.
The gothic, the organs.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Bombastic sounds.
Yeah, that's one of those ones I'm not familiar with.
Oh yeah, check it out. I recommend it.
Oh yeah. Do you know where a lot of the Hammer horror films are streaming?
There's some of them on Tubi.
Oh,
Yeah, you can find some of them on there, yeah. And that's free, Do you have
Yeah.
Tubi?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, there's some on there.
Yeah, because I remember seeing, I think it was Vampire Lovers a long time ago, but I don't have like a massive memory of it, so I wanted to see it again. So
Sometimes you find random ones on like Peacock. But then they take them off and then they put them back on later on. They used to have some of them on Netflix and then they took them off and put them back on.
Yeah,
Hate
they're
when they
always
do that.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch that later." Then I look and it's not on there anymore. It's like, so I just buy the DVDs and Blu-rays.
I know. That's the thing,
yeah.
That's why you gotta love physical media, You're never gonna have a streaming thing that has everything.
I will always be an advocate for physical media. I will die on that hill. Physical media will always win for me over anything else.
Yeah.
Like, where you gonna find all the Draculas? You're never gonna find them on any streaming network.
Yeah.
True. Next up for me, this is going to be one that I find extremely underrated, and that is Frankenstein Created Woman.
Oh, definitely.
I love this film. This is really one that they decided to change it up, and this time, Victor Frankenstein and Dr. Hertz transfer Han's soul into Christina's body, which is, very different than just trying to make a new creature. But I love the direction it goes, where it almost becomes like a proto slasher movie in a way, where she gets revenge, and you can hear the voice in her head and all that. It's just really cool. Of course, Peter Cushing's fantastic. I just really enjoyed the way they did this. Now, there was like this picture on the back of like him holding her in like robes or something. I don't think that's anywhere in the movie.
No, it's not. It's just more promotional.
Yeah.
They took a lot of pictures of her in that attire, but it's never in the movie. There's a lot of promotional material with that getup, but she never wears it in the movie.
I wish it was.
But yeah, how they did everything with Christina having a scar on her face, and they heal that, and then at the end she just jumps back into the river again. But yeah, I really dug this one. I thought it was a creative way to do something different, and I think they nailed it, and they created one of the most underrated ones in the series. So yeah, Frankenstein Created Woman, damn good one.
Plus, I like how she, her character, when she's got the scars on her face and the bum leg and whatever, and she gets, and the guys are basically bullying her, making fun of her, and she gets her revenge,
Yeah, she gets a
Hacking people
makeover.
with a hatchet and stuff.
Yeah, Dr. Frankenstein gets rid of her like deformities, I guess, and makes her beautiful. So she's able to lure those men in before she kills them. I really like that. I like the music that plays during some of those scenes too.
Yeah. It was definitely a early proto slasher type of thing. Like it had that vibe
Yeah.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Hammer has a few like that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That were like, there's a couple I would consider like straight up slasher, almost like, you know,
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
the Hands of the Ripper. It's
Yes,
Jekyll
definitely.
and Sister Hyde.
Yeah,
Heavy slasher vibes.
definitely. All right, so my next choice is going to be The Mummy,
Nice.
1959 Hammer take on the Universal Mummy series. Yeah, this one was also directed by Terrence Fisher, who did several of the other well-known ones. Just pretty much known for Hammer horror. But yeah, like I said earlier, yeah, it's called The Mummy, but it's way more a remake of The Mummy's Hand, which was the second film in the Universal Mummy franchise. Many just consider that to be the first film in like a new franchise, but I kind of all consider them part of the same series, even though it is a different mummy from the Imhotep mummy in the first one. But it does have elements of the 1932 original The Mummy with Boris Karloff too, like the Scroll of Life or Thoth or whatever it's called. And Peter Cushing plays John Banning, who's basically the same character as Steve Banning from The Mummy's Hand. It also has elements of The Mummy's Tomb, The Mummy's Ghost, and a little bit of The Mummy's Cursed as well. Kind of adapts kind of all of it. It's kind of like a best of all the Universal Mummy movies, kind of combined into one. Really good movie. Yeah, Christopher Lee's always great. He plays the monster. He plays Karras. Yeah, Peter Cushing's, of course, the hero. Like I said, it's always great to see them together. He obviously doesn't have any dialogues. He's playing Karras, not Imhotep, just the bandaged one who walks around like this and is silent. Just basically just a pawn, just being controlled by some evil master. Pretty good. It's a lot more gruesome and like a little gorier than, of course, the Universal black and white ones. Obviously, a lot darker. I think it's definitely more entertaining than those were. And I probably would rather watch this than any of those as well. I really, really like the Universal Mummy movies too. But yeah, this is a great, great adaptation of that. It's followed by a few sequels, all of which were unrelated and had different mummies. There was Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Then there was the Mummy's Shroud. And then there was Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, which I think is really good. I think that's the best of the sequels. I can't remember the names of the mummies in the other movies. I know one of them was Prim. I want to say that was Mummy's Shroud, but it could have been, I don't know. I don't remember the mummies' names. The one of them was Prim, and there was I think there was Mummy's Shroud, and there was like a young boy too who was mummified. All right, I don't remember much about the sequels, but this is definitely the best one, the original, and a great adaptation of the Universal Mummy series, and a great entry to Hammer horror. Definitely one of the best, right up there with the Frankenstein and Dracula movies.
Indeed.
Mike Pope's in the chat. How's it going, Mike?
Hello.
What's up?
Our live chat isn't very active this time. It was really active during our last stream. I could barely keep up with it. There's so many comments I could barely keep up with all of them. But yeah, not very active today. But that's okay.
Yeah, I always notice the playback always when the views come in. Like everyone just watches the after show.
It seems that way, yeah.
Oh, you guys should check out Horror Fan's other channel, Phantom Video. Yeah, voices from Phantom Video. Yeah, I got some cool stuff, and also his Instagram and TikTok account. I love that video you did at the video store with the Halloween movies. And Michael Myers was the guy who wanted Halloween Rosers. That was awesome. I would love to do something like that on my channel. Yeah, really good.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I'm glad y'all like that.
Check that out if you're watching.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good stuff. I can tell you've been very inspired lately.
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah.
Coming out with some good content.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate the shout out too.
Yeah, no problem. It's good stuff. Highly recommended.
My next one, number 6, will be the Curse of the Werewolf.
Nice.
Oh, which I have is probably the series you were talking about, Hellhound.
Yeah, I've got that one. I've got that one too.
Still haven't gotten the solo release, which I want to, but
yeah, I got that way before most of the movies on there came out on Blu-ray. Now I have them on Blu-ray, but there's still 5 or 4 or 5 that I don't have that are on there.
This was one of my big introduction series because I wanted to get into the ones aside from, the Frankensteins and Draculas, even though this does have Brides of Dracula, but
Mm-hmm. And Evil of Frankenstein.
a lot of these are good, like Phantom of the Opera remake is on there.
Yes, that's a good one.
But yeah, Curse of the Werewolf, you said it very well before, Love the atmosphere, love the look of the werewolf. Brilliant performance by Oliver Reed, so good. Like he really carries the movie. He's so charismatic and intense. And yeah, I love the whole setup, the backstory, very interesting, and something different for the werewolf genre too. We hadn't really seen that before.
Yeah.
Even though it is kind of their answer to the Wolfman, they did something a lot different where it wasn't just a rehash of the Wolfman,
Definitely.
It was like, this is Hammer style, Yeah, definitely. Too bad it was the only one they ever made,
Yeah.
I could have seen a whole series of that,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Was there any particular reason why they never did any more werewolf films?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Never
not sure.
did any more zombie movies either. Just
Yeah.
the one.
And they never did do Creature from the Black Lagoon or Invisible Man.
No, that's true.
You said they did do Phantom of the Opera, but
Yeah, they did Phantom of the Opera, right?
yeah. As far as the Universal monsters, yeah, no Creature or Invisible Man movies. Did a lot of Jekyll and Hyde stuff though. They did like 3 of those.
True.
Two-Face, Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll's Sister Hyde. Then what was the other one? The Ugly Duckling or something. Something like that.
Nice. Next up for me, going to be another damn good one, and yes, it's Dracula. Taste the Blood of Dracula.
Taste the Blood of Dracula.
Yeah, this one's really good. This one's definitely of the darker side of the franchise. A lot more satanic vibes going on, and yeah, just it almost has like a early proto prom night, or I Know What You Did Last Summer, where they killed the dude who's all like, drink his blood, drink it, if you do, drink the filth, and then he dies, and they're all just like, okay, look, we're gonna leave here, and we'll never speak of this, and it'll be good. So they just leave. But
that's a good point. I never thought of that. I Knew What You Did Last Summer of Dracula movies.
But yeah, once again, Ralph Bates as I believe his name was Lord Courtly. I think that was his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just like the setup of how they went with it, like, oh, these guys are looking for fun, they're tired of a lot of things. Here, let me put on Dracula's stuff real quick. Let me do this. Okay, here's Dracula's blood, drink it. And they're just like, hell no, what are you talking about? I ain't drinking that. So he drinks it and turns into Dracula. Which, in a way, I'm glad they did it. Like, I'm glad they didn't go a direction where he drunk the blood of Dracula and therefore he became like the new Dracula. I like how it turned into the Christopher Lee one.
Yeah, I think that was the original idea.
Yeah. Which, he could have made a really good Dracula for like a one-off, but we'll never know.
I think that was the original plan.
Yeah, and then Ralph Bates plays a great villain. He's awesome. I wish he could have been in it more, but yeah, then he was supposed to be the main villain, but then when Christopher Lee became available, of course they, rightfully so, put him in it. But it would have been cool if Ralph Bates, if Lord Curly could have been his servant like throughout, somehow. Like, he could have had a different resurrection. They have destroyed my servant. They will be destroyed. I think it's really enjoyable. I really like that one actually.
Yeah.
I love how they introduced the whole satanic cult thing, Thought that was something real different, and makes sense to
Yeah, then he
a
goes
whole
after.
new adds a whole new dark element to Dracula, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's three like rich guys who are just bored out of their mind and want to do crazy stuff. Like, like they beat Lord Courtly and then he turns into Dracula, and he goes after those three guys. He goes after like their kids, like their daughters and stuff, and then turns them into vampires, and then they get their parents. And doesn't it count too? Like, doesn't he say the first?
Yeah, the first.
Yeah, so we have a count who counts in that one.
He's the count.
Yeah, it's the, Yeah, it was a little more gruesome, and there was even some a little bit of nudity this time in Taste the Blood.
Yeah, this one was R-rated.
Yeah, that's right. And the previous one was G. That's so weird. Yeah, I like it. It's really enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely one of the best, I think, in the series.
Yeah, I love it.
The acting is really good too. I love the characters.
Yeah, my actual list would probably be made up of just mostly Frankenstein and Dracula movies, but I wanted more variety, so I picked other movies, just so it wouldn't be that. It could have been like 5 Dracula and 5 Frankenstein, or maybe also The Mummy and Curse of the Werewolf. But I wanted to pick other ones just to have more variety. But,
I know it's hard not to.
Yeah, because it could have just all been Dracula and Frankenstein easily.
Yeah, I guess your list could live through mine, since pretty much that's what my list is Dracula and Frankenstein.
That's how I was for a long time. I just, growing up, I had only pretty much seen the Hammer Dracula and Frankenstein movies, and then the Mummy and a few others. But I didn't discover most of their Hammer horror stuff till much later. I started the Universal monster movies, and I got into Hammer horror, and then got into 70s, 80s slashers and stuff. But then I kind of worked my way back and discovered other Hammer horror movies much later, when I was an adult.
Yeah, like I was telling you guys.
The world.
Yeah, when I got that book, The Hammer of Walter, it's kind of really got me started with wanting to see other stuff aside from the Draculas and Frankensteins.
Yeah, I need to check that book out.
Yeah, and then that's when I got this, and I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of other good ones, Yeah,
it's a whole world to discover. Hammer horror is just, it'll always keep you entertained. So anyways, is it my turn?
Yep.
All right, down to the top 5. So my top 5 is going to be Frankenstein Created Woman. Now, Revenge of Frankenstein and Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed might technically be better movies than this, but every time I have a marathon of the Hammer Frankenstein series, I always look forward to this one the most. I think it's the most enjoyable. It's probably because I just really, really love revenge movies. Yeah, in this one, Dr. Frankenstein, played again by Peter Cushing, who in this movie, and ironically, Evil of Frankenstein, he's probably the least evil in those two. Yeah, Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, which is the next one. He was just straight up psychotic and just really, really, really wicked. But yeah, he was probably the least evil here in this one and the previous one. This is the fourth film in the series. And his assistant, whose name is once again Hans. I don't think it's supposed to be the same character from Revenge and Evil. Yeah, his father was a criminal who got hung when he was a kid. He witnessed it. I don't really know what that has to do with it, but yeah, whatever. That's in the prologue. And then, he's working for Dr. Frankenstein, and then, he's killed and he's hung. He's these 3 assholes who bully his girlfriend in the bar that she works, and then how's it go? Somehow he's framed for something they did, and then he's hung, and then Frankenstein brings then she kills herself, and then Frankenstein brings her back and her body, but with his soul as well. So I guess both of their souls inhabit her body, and they even kind of talk to each other. It kind of reminds me of Friday the 13th, and Mrs. Voorhees would say, kill her, mommy. It was like Jason was talking through her. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
So he makes her beautiful. Dr. Frankenstein does, and gets rid of her deformities, and so she uses her looks to lure those men to their deaths and get revenge on them. It's really, really awesome. Because, like I said, I love revenge movies where the tables are turned against the villains. I think that's just awesome, and this movie just definitely delivers when it comes to that. So yeah, it's a very, very different kind of story. It's very unique for a Frankenstein movie, and I really like that about it. Not really much of a monster to speak of, but that's kind of what I like about it. It's something totally new and totally different and really, really enjoyable. Revenge of Frankenstein didn't really have much of a monster either, really. Yeah, this is one of the ones I always look forward to, and I have a marathon. And I think it's one of the most entertaining and very, very satisfying for sure to watch. Because, like I said, I just love revenge stuff.
Definitely like the most creative one.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see, we're down to 5. So, The Vampire Lovers. Yes, absolutely love this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my, to be honest, it's one of my favorite vampire movies, period.
Same.
Like, even though it's got, some exploitive moments, I suppose. But yeah, it's a very erotic, very sexy vampire film, but a very good vampire film with I mean, Ingrid Pitt is just incredible. I mean, you can't take your eyes off her. She's so magnetic and hypnotizing. Her voice, her presence, she just commands the screen,
Seductive.
She's basically the female Dracula,
Pretty much.
And she has that accent, I love it. And the gothic atmosphere is amazing in this movie. Some scenes look like a painting that's so beautiful, and like the gothic tone. Some of the best I've seen in the Hammer film, and that's saying a lot. And of course, you got Peter Cushing in this one,
Awesome.
Excellent adaptation of the Carmel story.
Absolutely. I probably should have been a little higher on my list. I need to rewatch these, but yeah, the gothic tone is done the best in that. Hammer was known for that. I think they did it the best with that one. And yeah, she was kind of like the female Dracula, although she might be maybe just a little more sympathetic.
Yeah, she is she does have a sympathetic side as well.
Yeah, I even kind of rooted for her a little bit. Yeah.
She has a dark side as well, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very seductive for sure.
It's almost like when it comes to the women, she cares more about them than the guys. She just kind of knocks off real quick and
pretty much.
But there's one beautiful scene when you see her walking off towards the castle and the fog and the mist. And man, amazing.
Yeah. Great stuff. Hammer did that very well.
But like you said earlier, it did kind of kick off the whole, lesbian vampire movement. And you had the Jess Franco stuff and the Gene Rollins stuff and all that.
Yeah, yeah, it's very influential, very inspirational.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was some movies before that, but this, I think, really kicked it off,
Yeah, absolutely. Very integral.
Quintessential lesbian vampire movie, probably, I would say.
Hell yeah. Next up for me, number 4 is going to be The Curse of Frankenstein.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
The one that started it all. And this film is truly amazing. I love that, once Hammer started doing their versions and their takes on the stuff, they didn't really outright copy what Universal had done. And I think Peter Cushing is just fantastic. He's truly one of the greatest horror actors of all time. And even for like a movie that came out in the 50s, like one of the things that impressed me the most when I first saw this is when Peter Cushing, Victor Frankenstein, kills the professor. He's like, "Professor, watch out!" And he punches him out. The stunt of that dude hitting the floor like head first looked really good.
Yeah, it
was like, damn. And of course, the monster design, I'm glad it didn't look exactly like Universal's. It had more of a grotesque look to it. and I just absolutely love the way that looked. And why I've done said his name like 50 times today. Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee as the creature, as they call it, because from my understanding, they didn't want to call it the monster because they didn't want to get sued.
Differentiate, yeah.
Yeah, so the creature, Christopher Lee, he's great, and from my understanding, that was the first time they were together on screen on the same time. So, yeah, I just think it's a fantastic film. It's definitely one of the best uh, interpretations of that story, and it's just a damn good film. So, yeah, The Curse of Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My
It's
wife
the
is
one
here.
that. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, honey. Yeah, she's at her mom's. She stays at my mother-in-law's on Thursdays, so she's watching it from there. Hey, honey.
Welcome.
Good to see you. Glad you came.
Yeah, I mean that's really the film that put Hammer horror on the map.
Yeah, it's kind of one that started it all. It's kind of the first Hammer horror movie. I mean, they had the first Quatermass movie and X the Unknown and like maybe a couple others, but that's really the one that started it all. Like I kind of consider it the first true Hammer horror movie. That's when they started, doing their own takes on the Universal monster movies, and just became what it is, what it became known for.
Yep.
Yeah, that was before, that was 1957. That was a year before Horror Dracula, which came in '58 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of consider that one the one that started it all. Yeah, most of them were directed by Terrence Fisher, too. That was no exception.
Definitely gotta be the best Hammer director, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, he did most of the best ones.
All the big hits.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Including this one, The Devil Rides Out.
Nice.
Excellent film. I love the take on the whole, satanic cult thing. Christopher Lee in a rare good guy role, trying to save his friend from the cult,
Yeah.
And Charles Gray makes a great villain. He's the leader of the cult, very charismatic. We've seen him as a Bond villain, of course. And he brings that to this movie, I think, definitely. And Christopher Lee's probably one of his best performances, I think, and he would say that too later on. As Duke, do you reach low?
Yeah, it's a good movie. I used to have it on VHS. I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah,
that
another
was made my list.
fantastic score. You even get to see the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
And it's they definitely did their research going into the film. I think everything is pretty accurate to the witchcraft and black magic stuff. They definitely did their research. You can tell.
Absolutely.
Some scenes are a little hokey, but I think the overall story is really good. The acting is good. I love the characters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic film.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better ones that have the whole like satanic theme going on.
Mm-hmm.
Some good gothic atmosphere once again.
Yeah.
I think we might have skipped me. That's okay though.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
My bad.
It's all good. I wasn't paying attention either. It's all good. No worries.
You can go ahead and do yours if you want to.
What's that?
You can go ahead and do yours if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm on number 4. So, Sean, that was your number 5?
That was my number 4.
Number 4. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we just went out of order a little bit. That's okay though. No worries. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention either. Yeah, so my number 4 is going to be Dracula, Prince of Darkness.
Nice.
Yeah, so this was the 3rd film in the Dracula series, but the second to feature Christopher Lee as Dracula. Unfortunately, Peter Cushing does not return. But still, really, really good movie. Like we already established, the one main flaw is that Dracula does not have any dialogue. He's completely mute. He's completely silent the whole time. He was actually mostly silent in a horror Dracula too. Like he talks to Harther a little bit at the beginning. He has maybe 3 scenes or 4 scenes where he talks, and like after he's revealed as a vampire, he never has another line after that. But I really like it when he talks. He has such a great voice and such a great presence. So I actually think I might prefer the way his character was done and some of the other ones, like especially Scars of Dracula, where we saw him a lot and he had a lot of dialogue and really put off the suave, charismatic, debonair vampire, while also the evil, blood-sucking leech on 2 legs. With this one, you just kind of see the latter. But I think this is a better movie than like Scars of Dracula and stuff, so I think I'll rank it higher. Even though, like I said, that is a big problem with the movie, but it's still really, really, really good. The way they killed Dracula off at the end with the running water and being frozen in the ice, maybe a little silly, but other than that, it's great. So it's a great scene. Yeah, like you said, Sean, Dracula has the best resurrection scene, I think, in this movie, where they pour the blood on his ashes after he was burned up in the sunlight by Van Helsing in Horror Dracula at the end. Lots of great moments like that. Some pretty gruesome moments, that kind of pushed it a little bit for 1966. And, like I said, I think this was a double bill with Plague of the Zombies. I think it was a double feature. I think my dad might even saw that in the theaters back in the day. He's a big Hammer horror guy. He's the one that got me into it. But this is definitely one of the better ones for sure. I like it a lot. And like I said, Christopher Lee might have been portrayed a little better in some of the later ones, just because he had a lot more dialogue and more. They gave him more to do. This is still one of the best movies in the series by far, despite just a few things that could have been done better, but still very, very solid. And some people even prefer that one to Horror Dracula. Some people even say that's their favorite one, and I can certainly see why.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent pick, though.
Thanks. So now should we just do you, horror fan, and then Sean, and then me, just go the other way? Just
All right.
Sorry, I messed everything up.
That's okay. No worries. We'll just go counterclockwise now. Go back in time.
So, number 3 for me, the reason this one's so high and special for me, and it's Scars of Dracula.
Nice.
And the reason it's so high is because, like I've mentioned before, this was the first Hammer horror film I ever saw. So there's like that ultimate nostalgia with this one and love for it. And, what a great one to have those things for, because, this one's definitely one of the more violent ones in the franchise. I mean, the people slaughtered in the church, Dracula stabbing the one girl to death, which is odd for Dracula, but and just overall, Dracula seems much more evil in this one. Like where the redness in his eyes and how pissed he gets, and and like you said, Hellhound, a lot of Christopher Lee in this one. He's definitely like front and center for this film, and I just love it. And there's another. I remember when we did a stream talking about this one not that long ago. I believe it was Sean who mentioned that there was kind of a psycho aspect of this, where the brother Paul, and then he gets killed, and then his brother comes to look for him, and it's that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it is like Psycho in that respect.
That's a good. Yeah,
and
even kind of like a hotel.
Yeah, and I know I've mentioned it many, many times, but if it wasn't for Fright Night, I wouldn't have questioned what this movie was, because Charlie Brewster was watching it on TV.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was
bad, fake-looking bat and everything. Terrible-looking bat.
That's the negative. Is the bat effects are just
awful.
Yeah. But other than that, I love Scars of Dracula. It means so much to me. So, Scars.
I think that's definitely the most underrated in the series, and I think that's one of my favorite Christopher Lee Dracula performances. Yeah, he's definitely in it a lot more. He gets a lot of screen time, a lot of dialogue. They give him a lot to do, which is definitely that's always a good thing. So, I wanted that to be on the list too, just for that reason alone. Because it's just very very underrated and much better than people give credit for.
I agree.
It's great performance of Christopher Lee, and we see a lot of him, which of course is always a good thing. Some of the other sequels, he was like barely in it, and kind of feels like he was just kind of thrown into the last minute, just kind of shoehorned in. And this one, he's like you say, he's front and center. Like he gets a lot to do.
Yeah,
it's his movie.
You'll have some wine.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Dan and Horror's in the chat. How's it going,
The
Mr.
blade
Dan?
is very sharp.
Yeah. So many great quotes. Had to catch the replay. That's all right. Yeah.
Do so, please.
Yeah.
If we're gonna wrap it up by 8, we might just speed it up a little bit.
I think I got till about 8:30 at most, so we're
Okay,
good.
right on. Cool.
So we're doing the backwards thing.
Yeah.
Thanks to me.
It's all right. No big deal.
My number 3 is going to be Brides of Dracula.
Nice.
Freaking love this movie. Which unfortunately doesn't have Christopher Lee in the first sequel in the franchise, but it's still an awesome movie. It's so well made, amazing gothic tone, and I think Peter Cushing as Van Helsing is just as good in this as he was in the horror of Dracula. He's fantastic. I mean, how can you forget that scene when he gets bit and then he uses the thing to brand and burn the bite off his neck and
the holy water. It even disappears. Even the burn,
I know, right?
the burn wound even disappears. Like, how does that work?
But yeah, I think it's an excellent follow-up, and it's almost like a solo Van Helsing adventure in a way, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It almost could have been like, you can almost look at it as like a spin-off of Dracula in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wish Christopher Lee was in it, but it doesn't bother me. I'm just glad they went back to him, but as a standalone adventure, it works so well, you know.
Still really good, yeah.
And yeah, really well directed, awesome gothic atmosphere as always, you know.
Hell yeah.
And Peter Cushing just absolutely killing it. Another awesome Hammer score as always too. Yeah.
Definitely.
I like the Baron Meinster, you know, and I like his dynamic with the mother, and you know the fact that she keeps him locked up in the room, you know.
Yeah.
And they got the teacher girl who's like so naive. She lets him out, you know, because she feels bad for him. It's all her fault.
Yeah, it is.
Excellent pick.
All right, so my number 3 is also going to be Brides of Dracula.
Nice.
Awesome.
It was the second film in the series, even though Christopher Lee's not in it. And for a while, I didn't consider this part of the series. I kind of considered it a spin-off, but now I just say it's part of the series. There are 9 movies. This is the second one. Yeah, Christopher Lee's not in it. Dracula's not in it. So yeah, the title doesn't really make sense. I guess Brides of Baron Meinster just doesn't have the same marquee value as Brides of Dracula. But I think don't they kind of imply and kind of suggest that Baron Meinster was turned into a vampire by Dracula or something?
It's kind of implied, yeah.
Yeah, so they could have called it maybe Disciple of Dracula or something, but whatever, it's fine. Peter Cushing does return, and I think this is his greatest performance as Van Helsing. Yeah, like you said, it's pretty much equal with his Van Helsing from Horror Dracula. This is definitely his movie. He carries it. He drives it. He's just so awesome. He's just always great. I really wish that Peter Cushing could have been in all of the Dracula movies. I guess he was too busy playing Dr. Frankenstein in the Frankenstein series. He's only in 5 of them, only 3 of which star Christopher Lee also. So, they're only in 3 Dracula movies together. Since a different actor played Dracula in Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, and since Dracula isn't even in this movie at all, the character, I really was kind of mentioned, kind of, sort of. But Baron Meister's a pretty cool villain too. He's played by David Peel, who does a good job. His fangs look really fake, but he's pretty cool. He's pretty menacing. Yeah, his mother like kind of has him imprisoned. She has him chained up. I always wonder, why doesn't he just turn into a bat and fly away? Maybe the chain is made of silver, like it's a silver chain. It's a holy metal. Maybe it renders him powerless somehow. Let's hope so. Also, how come he can turn into a bat, but Dracula never does in these movies? Dracula is supposed to be the king of the vampires. He should have all the abilities that every vampire has. How come he can't turn into a bat, but Baron Meister can, who he probably turned into a vampire? Baron Meister, I think, was turned by Dracula. So how come he turned a bat but Dracula can't? And I think even in horror Dracula, doesn't Van Helsing say something that like they don't turn into bats or something? I mean, we could just say that he didn't know, but anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a few continuity errors and some like things that don't make sense in this movie. Some of the continuity is really loose too. Some things
using too much logic.
Yeah. Back then, people saw them in theaters. It was before DVD and Blu-ray, where you just watch them over and over. But and see all them. They probably thought people wouldn't notice, but it doesn't really matter. Still a great movie. Excellent follow-up to horror Dracula. I like this one probably just as much, actually. It's very, very close between the two. It's really, really enjoyable. I think if Christopher Lee was in it, obviously it would be a little better. But like I said, David Peel is still pretty great as Baron Meister. It's kind of cool they did something different. And then, of course, the two female vampire characters. I guess they're supposed to be the title character, the so-called Brides of Dracula, even though it's really Brides of Baron Meister. Really cool climax, too, with Peter Cushing battling Baron Meister. And then, of course, he gets bit and then, pours like you said, pours the holy water, burns himself, and then pours the holy water on it, makes the whole wound disappear somehow. The way he kills Baron Meister is actually also kind of creative. Really, really thrilling, really riveting finale for sure.
The windmill.
The windmill, and the shadow and stuff. Yeah, really good action, really good, little violent too here and there. Definitely pushed the envelope a little bit. Great sequel, great follow-up, great entry in the series. Even though it doesn't have Christopher Lee, it's still really, really good. And like I said, Peter Cushing just rocks in this movie. Like it's his movie, in my opinion. Yeah, really awesome. Brides of Dracula. Love it. Love it.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. My number 2 is The Brides of Dracula.
Nice.
I absolutely love this film. They could have called it Van Helsing Vampire Slayer or something, but I guess they wanted to keep the Dracula name in the title.
Yeah.
David Peel as Baron Meister, say what you will about him, but he bit Van Helsing. He did it.
Yeah, that's true.
Never did.
That's true.
But, of course, Van Helsing handles it the most badass way with the brand and the holy water. But I love this movie. And I know, once again, we've mentioned it, but this is literally one of the best Scream Factory artworks of all time.
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Beautiful.
And one thing about the Baron I like that inside of his cape is like a purple as opposed to like a Dracula red or something. It's a nice twist on that.
Yeah.
It's a unique, distinct look.
I think in general, the whole title of the film, it's cool, but like Brides of Dracula, Dracula's not in it. The brides, they don't really do much in the movie at all, except kind of stare at you.
Just kind of have this presence.
But even with all these little things, I could just somewhat nitpick, I guess. I'm still not denying that this is one of the best Hammer horror films, one of the best vampire films, and definitely Van Helsing's shining moment. Peter Cushing, hell yeah. Brides.
I guess maybe you could argue that if Dracula did in fact turn Baron Meister into a vampire, you could say that like since Baron Meister turned those women into vampires, they were kind of like the Brides of Dracula. Dracula turned Baron Meister and then he turned the women, and I don't know. So you kind of say that it was a little bit related, kind of.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right, so my number 2 is going to be The Curse of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
As far as I know, this is like the only movie I could find from Warner Brothers on Blu-ray that actually has special features on it. What the hell?
I don't think I've ever
But
seen that artwork.
yeah,
Huh,
it's
that's pretty
the
cool.
2-disc special edition. Yeah,
Oh man, I need to get my hands on that. I didn't know that was available. Man,
yeah, it's a good one.
I need to snatch that up.
hmm That's pretty badass artwork too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not a Scream Factory though, is it?
No, it's Warner Brothers.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
And it's
then.
got a lot of good special features and stuff. Look.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, yeah. Look at that. Oh, they did a pretty good job for not being Scream Factory. That's
I
really
know.
good.
The only time.
I wasn't aware of that. I gotta
Yeah.
get my hands on that.
But yeah, I mean, I love, this film, how it's different from the Universal monster version, how the focus is more on Victor Frankenstein as a character,
Yeah.
And his insanity, his crazy experiments, and the lengths that he will go to, see it through. And then another brilliant performance by Peter Cushing, of course. He is just a man in this movie. And like we said before, this is the one that put Hammer on the map, really. This big success that brought him to focus more on the horror genre. Because before they did, a lot of different stuff like sci-fi. But this one, they first kind of like straight up horror movie,
Yeah.
I would say. And, it's just showing Hammer bringing color into the mix, beautiful, vibrant color schemes and making a little more sexy version of the Universal Monster films, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Peter Cushing is, in my opinion, the best version, the best portrayal of Victor Frankenstein. In my opinion, he's great in every single movie in the series, and especially this one.
It's really close between him and Colin Klein.
And I feel the same way when he plays Van Helsing too. I feel he's the best Van Helsing too.
Yep.
But
definitely the best Van Helsing. Hands
another
down.
fantastic score from Hammer in this film. Beautiful, beautiful gothic tone. It's just awesome. 5-star classic for me.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes I think it could be my favorite Frankenstein movie. I go back and forth with this and the original Universal Frankenstein, but it's close.
Very close. All right, so my number 2 is also going to be Curse of Frankenstein. Yeah, like I said, I really need to get my hands on that edition that you have. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just have the DVD. So yeah, I was a huge Universal Monsters fan growing up. They were like among the first horror movies I ever saw, and it got me hooked. That was kind of where it started as my journey as a fledgling horror fan started with Universal, and so I'd seen all of those Frankenstein movies, and I figured that Hammer was the next step. And there was no internet back then or anything, so I probably read about it, like the Hammer Frankenstein movies, in like the Psychotronic Guide or Creature Features or something. And of course, my dad was a fan too, so I figured, yeah, Hammer was the next step. But I was a little hesitant because I was like, man, they'll never top the Universal Frankenstein movies, and this is going to be way too different and stuff. Then I watched it, and I was immediately hooked. I was blown away. I was like, wow, this is awesome. I love the Universal Monster movies, but this was something entirely different. It was in color. It had actual blood. It was violent. It was, maybe not really very sexual like some of the later Hammer movies, especially the Dracula series and Vampire Lovers and stuff would be. But there's a little bit of that in there, more so than the Universal movies anyway. But yeah, it just felt like it was the next step. It was the next level from the Universal movies. So I absolutely loved it. Yeah, Christopher Lee's great as the creature this time as opposed to the monster, since they wanted to differentiate. Peter Cushing's great as Dr. Victor Frankenstein. He's just awesome. He really carries the movie. He's very obsessive and determined. He's all about science, like anything in the name of science, anything goes, even murder. Kind of reminds me of Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West a little bit from the Animator. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeffrey Combs took some inspiration from Peter Cushing in these movies, quite possibly. And it's interesting in that how the Universal Frankenstein series was about the monster, Frankenstein's monster. The Hammer series is about the doctor. And not only is he, like the main character, the main focus, but he's kind of a villain too. He does some evil things. He kills people. He does some really evil things, and Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. He even rapes that woman, which I think probably didn't need to be in the movie. But yeah, very shocking. I guess it just had to show how evil he really was. So he kind of becomes the monster himself. He kind of is the monster of the Hammer Frankenstein series in a way. And spoiler alert, at the end of Revenge of Frankenstein, he does get his brain transplanted in another body, which looks identical to him for some reason. I don't know how that's going to help because we're going to recognize him, and he even goes by similar Dr. Frank or Dr. Stein or something. So you can say that he literally is a Frankenstein monster. Yeah, he gets his brain transplanted. So he's the scientist and the monster. So there you go. The monster's name is Frankenstein too, because he's Frankenstein and he becomes the monster. So there you go. But yeah, that's another. Anyway, yeah, really, really good movie. It blew me away when I first saw it. I was like, wow, this is just the next step. I think I still prefer at least the first two Universal Frankenstein movies, Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein from 1931 and 1935, respectively. I think I do prefer them to this one, but it's very, very, very close. Like Sean said, sometimes I would rather watch this. Sometimes I hold this one a little higher. I think this one's probably better than the rest of the Universal Frankenstein series. I really, really like House of Frankenstein a lot. And the Abbott and Costello movie. And Son of Frankenstein's good too. But yeah, I think this is, I do prefer the first two Universal films, but this is very, very, very close. Great, great movie. And like I said, it was definitely the next step. There's definitely something new and something exciting. As a huge Universal fan, like this is the first Hammer horror movie I ever saw, and I was immediately hooked. It really got me into Hammer horror, and I just became a huge fan because I just ate that stuff up. I just love it. It was definitely, these were definitely worthy successors to the Universal monster series for sure.
Yeah.
And I like how they kind of did their own thing too. They didn't just rehash it. They were adaptions, but and this one actually even maybe followed the book a little closer too. Even though the Horror of Dracula movie probably strays further from the book than the 1931 one with La Bela Lugosi. Both of them take a lot of liberties. They're nothing like the novel. But this one might follow the book just a little more, even though there's a lot of deviations too, like the Paul character and just a few other things. But maybe it follows it maybe just a little bit more closely than the Universal one. So, like I said,
another Paul
liberties too. It's very, very, very different. What's that?
Another Paul.
Yes, another Paul. Yeah. Paul, Carl, and Hans. Yeah, they had like a roll with like three names. But yeah. Great movie. Absolutely love it.
Hell yeah.
Something tells me we're all going to have the same number one choice. If I just want to show them at the same time, maybe.
I have a feeling, yeah.
Yeah, if you want, we can all show it at the same time and just gush about it at the same time.
Why not?
Say it with me now. Yeah.
Horror of
Dracula. That's another... it's another cool release with different artwork.
Yeah. This one's from Warner Brothers too, but there aren't. Unfortunately, it is a bare bones disc. There's no special features.
Blu-rays should always have special features, I think.
Yeah.
But this version doesn't have any either, hardly.
I'm hoping that they come out with one of those souped-up ones like they've been doing, that Hammer has been releasing, like they did for the Captain Kronos and Quatermass and all that.
They should release a version.
I will spend the money for that one.
They should release a version with the full unedited ending that shows a couple more frames of Dracula.
Yeah.
You can find it on YouTube. They didn't release that on a Blu-ray release, the full uncensored Dracula death at the end. That'd be really cool. That would really make me want to.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would gladly pay money for that.
Yeah. So this is my favorite Dracula film of all time. It's in my top 5 vampire films. I just love this movie so much. It's my favorite Hammer horror film. Um, just everything about this movie, from the atmosphere to the score to the portrayals of these characters, is perfect. I like how there was some notable changes from the book. You know, like in this, Jonathan Harker's already aware he's a vampire, and he was going there to kill him. Like, I thought that was a pretty cool change up. Um, and just everything. The perfect cast for Dracula and Van Helsing. It's one of those things where even in pop culture, I know everything people know about Dracula is mainly Bela Lugosi's version. Like, that's the one everyone thinks of.
It's the
But
most
these
iconic.
are these are my favorite portrayals of both of the characters. Um, I
Nice.
just love everything about it. So, Horror of Dracula is a 10 out of 10.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's my favorite Hammer horror movie too by far. Well, I mean, the other ones come pretty close, but I mean, it's always been my number one favorite. Like this is probably the second one I saw after Curse of Frankenstein. I was like, wow, that's really really good. I love. Um, I think overall, Hammer might have did a better job with Dracula as a series than Universal did, because I mean, Bela Lugosi only played him twice. Christopher Lee got to play him 7 times. They even played him in other Dracula movies that weren't part of the Hammer series, like Dracula and Son, and then the 1970 Jesus Franco Count Dracula movie, which actually follows the book pretty well. But yeah, horror Dracula. Yeah, Peter Cushing, like we already established, is great as Van Helsing. He's the best Van Helsing. Yeah, Bela Lugosi's obviously more iconic, and usually, like when you see like a parody of Dracula or something, they usually follow the Bela Lugosi version. But Christopher Lee, I think, is basically just as good. He got to play the character more times, so we got to see a lot more aspects of his version of the character. And he could pull off both the suave, charismatic, debonair, kind of charming Dracula, and then the evil, just monstrous creature of the night Dracula. So yeah, he just did a great job. And yeah, like I said, when I first watched this, I was like, man, this is way different from the Universal movies. It's in color, it has blood, it has violent. He has an interesting idea having Jonathan Harker be like a vampire hunter who's teammates of Van Helsing. I kind of wish that he had been in the movie like throughout instead of Arthur Holmwood, played by
Michael
Goff. Yeah, who eventually played Alfred in the Tim Burton Batman.
He was he was very good. The guy that played Harker, very charming.
Yeah.
What, did we lose Hellhound?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
He's either frozen or it's the curse of Dracula.
Yeah.
Well, why we
Drowned in ice like Dracula, Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
Trapped under ice like Metallica.
Well, while we wait for him to come back, would you like to share your thoughts on this film that I know you love as well?
Yeah, like I've said many times, yeah, this is the ultimate Hammer movie for me. It's just a perfect film, I would say. Like, I love every minute of it. Like, it's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, like you said, the best versions of both characters, perfectly put.
Yes.
Like Hellhound was saying, Christopher Lee exhibits both the suave side at the beginning and the monstrous side in the rest of the film.
Yes.
He's just insane, so damn good. And Peter Cushing just absolutely kills it. I think he gives an Oscar-worthy performance, in my opinion. Yeah,
Yes.
like maybe if this film was made in America, he probably would have been up for an Oscar, I think.
Definitely.
But yeah, I love, again, the atmosphere is incredible, the score is incredible, the acting is brilliant, and I like you saying, some of the changes they made, I really enjoyed. I thought they were good changes.
Yes.
Even though they did take a lot of liberties, I loved what they did with those liberties, you know.
Yeah.
And the death scene is awesome. You know, Peter Cushing jumping up and grabbing the curtain down, exposing the sunlight, turning Dracula to ash, and he grabs the candlesticks. Freaking badass.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that whole dialogue scene where Peter Cushing is at the recorder and he's just giving this great long dialogue, and
Oh yeah.
it's just so good.
The vampire repelled by odor of garlic. Sunlight fatal. Repeat fatal.
Victo. But yeah, like I said, I know many people would be like, Christopher Lee's great, but Bela Lugosi's the classic, and I don't argue that, but Christopher Lee's just my personal favorite.
Me too. Yeah, like Bella set the standard, of course, but I feel like
Definitely.
Christopher Lee almost in a way like outdid him in a way. Maybe not that iconic look that everyone sees Dracula as being as more thought of as Bela Lugosi, but I don't know, just something about Christopher Lee's just more monstrous, more menacing,
Yep.
And
Welcome
he's
back.
imposing. He's so tall, and he's got the great voice,
Yeah.
My laptop just like totally like crashed, so I missed a lot of that. I don't know when I cut off, but yeah, it's just like completely. Yeah, this laptop's a heap of junk.
You using your phone now, or?
Yeah, I'm using my phone.
Okay.
So it's gonna be kind of hard.
Man, we better get into the Queensrÿche because we're gonna lose.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, we need to. Yeah.
I would
conclusion.
like.
Yeah, great.
I
great.
would like to mention one final thing, and that is the only Dracula film, or the Hammer Dracula, I have on VHS is the Satanic Rites of Dracula, or as this is called, the Rites of Dracula.
Which,
I
yeah,
know,
it's weird.
I know this particular film is in like public domain, so it has like many names like Satanic Rites or Dracula and his brides or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have it on VHS, so that's cool.
Hell yeah.
I have Scars of Dracula on VHS. That's the only one I have.
Oh, nice.
I have
It's the only VHS I think I own.
I have Dracula has risen from the grave on VHS.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that and Curse of the Werewolf are the only two Hammer horror movies on VHS I have left. I used to have a lot more, but
I sold off all my VHSs.
yeah, I did a lot of mine a long time ago, but then I kind of replenished them later when I got nostalgic for them. All right.
All right. Shall we get into the Queen of the Reich?
Yes, indeed.
All right, want me to start again and we can just do this way again?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. My number 5 for the Queensrÿche albums is going to be The Warning.
Nice.
An excellent album. A lot of great songs. Obviously, the big song off this album is Take Hold of the Flame.
Yeah.
And Jeff Tate, truly a remarkable vocalist, one of the best out there. I remember seeing a live show on YouTube from Tokyo of Queen of the Reich, and he was just hitting those notes. The Queen of the Reich. I was like, whoa. So yeah, Take Hold of the Flame, that's a great one. Before the Storm, Warning, Deliverance, No Sanctuary. It's a great, great album.
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
So my number 5 would be the original Queensrÿche EP. with of course, Queen of the Reich. That song's legendary.
Yeah.
The Lady Wore Black, Knight Rider, and Blinded. There's only 4 songs, but but still, it put them on the map. With Queen of the Reich. Very successful, and that started the ball rolling for them. Really.
Yeah.
And man, his vocals on that song are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can anybody hit those notes? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe Rob Halford.
Maybe.
Yeah. I know I
Love
couldn't.
one of my favorite ballads is Lady Wore Black.
Yeah.
It's an awesome rock metal ballad.
Definitely. So we're including the EP too.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I need to change.
To
I'm going
me,
to change.
anyway.
I'm going to change my list then. In that case. All right. So then, in that case, my number 5, my fifth favorite, Queensrÿche release is going to be The Warning.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that was their debut album, and yeah, still one of their best. Yeah, like we already established. Yeah, Jeff Tate's awesome vocals were just phenomenal. Those high notes that he hits, those powerful vibratos, just an incredible vocalist. Yeah, and Chris DeGarmo's guitar playing and songwriting was really, really good too. Scott Rockenfeld's drumming, Eddie Jackson's bass playing, Michael Wilton's rhythm guitar. Yeah, I saw Queensrÿche open for Judas Priest back in 2022, and of course they didn't have Jeff Tate or Chris DeGarmo or Scott Rockenfeld for that matter. So it's just Eddie Jackson and Michael Wilton. But I had Todd Latour, and he sounds very, very close to Jeff Tate in his prime. He's an amazing singer too. But I really wish I could have seen them with Jeff Tate and Chris DeGarmo for that matter. But anyway, yeah, The Warning is a great album. This is their debut, still one of their best. It was one of the first things I heard by them, and I was immediately hooked. Great record though. I don't own it anymore. I used to have it on cassette tape, and I would listen to it in my car stereo back in high school. But yeah, I need to get it on vinyl because now I don't have a copy anymore.
It's a great one though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
My number 4 is going to be the Queensrÿche EP. It's such a great release. Obviously Queen of the Reich. That song is epic.
Top notch.
Even the song Knight Rider, like that scream that he does in the beginning, that that was cool. Yeah, it's just killer riffs, amazing vocals. It's just a top-notch EP. Every song on it's fantastic, and maybe one day I'll be able to sing Queen of the Reich, but until now, I'm not even going to try.
I wouldn't try.
Yeah. No one can do it like Tate.
Nope.
So, like I said, Todd Latour does come very, very close, and he really sounds a lot like him.
Yes.
But,
Nice.
Tate was obviously more innovative. Latour is kind of just an imitation, but a good, I'd say a worthy replacement overall. But I really wish I could have seen them with Jeff Tate and Chris
Me
DeGarmo.
too.
That was the true lineup, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Behind all the classic albums.
So my number 4 would be The Warning. And yeah, absolutely love the title track, The Warning. Warning!
Yeah.
Warning!
Hell yeah.
Love it. Enforce is a great song. Take Hold of Flame, of course. Road to Madness, I love. NM 156 is one of my favorite. That's a great song.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great album. And his vocals were peak in this one. Yeah.
I agree.
All right, is it my turn?
Yep.
All right, my fourth favorite is going to be fourth favorite Queensrÿche release is going to be Rage for Order.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Love it.
Another solid album. Yeah, it features some more of Jeff Tate's incredible vocal acrobatics, and of course the riffs and solos by Chris DeGarmo, and his songwriting is just stellar as always. And the rest of the musicians just do an incredible job. Definitely top notch. Yeah, some great songs. Yeah, Walk in the Shadows, I Dream in Infrared, The Whisper, Getting Close to You, The Killing Words. Yeah, really, really good stuff. Chemical Youth.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a really good material. Kind of has like a power metal feel to it, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love it.
Same.
My next two, they really switch back and forth a lot. But for now, I'm going to go with Rage for Order. It's such a good album, Walk in the Shadows. I just love that song. I love the chorus. Walk in the shadows. Oh. I love the Killing Words. Like, that has a great opening to it. Love that. This even has one of my personal favorite, more slower ballad songs, I Will Remember. I remember seeing the unplugged version of that when they did it live, and it was fantastic.
Really good, yeah.
Yes. The way Tate can control his voice is undeniably fantastic. So, yeah, Rage for Order, killer album.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My number 3 would be the same. My number 3 is Queensrÿche Rage for Order. I think it's the most underrated of their discography. Because I feel like this is where they really became Queensrÿche as we know them, Because the first couple albums
really
had very much of an
an
Iron Maiden kind of Judas Priest kind of vibe,
Yeah.
But I feel like this sounds like essentially Queensrÿche,
They really came into their own and found their sound with that one.
Definitely. Their own style,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I Dream in Infrared is a great ballad. Walk in the Shadows, You're Gonna Get Close to You, like a kind of a creepy stalker style vibe.
So 80s.
Yeah.
Love it.
London, London, London. Surgical Strike, I love that one. Surgical Strike. Like you said, Killing Words, that's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome album.
Absolutely.
When I went to see Jeff Tate live a couple of years ago, he did the whole album.
Oh, cool.
That was
I need
great.
to see him. Since I saw Queensrÿche without him, I need to just go see him. Solo act.
Yeah, I loved it.
I know he can't sing quite like he used to, but it'd still be cool to see him live.
I mean, he still does the deep vocals very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't really hit the high notes much anymore. But
yeah, it's hard to be able to do that for so many years.
Yeah.
Definitely takes a toll on your vocal cords.
Yeah.
All right, so is it my turn?
Yep.
All right, so my third favorite Queensrÿche release is going to be Empire. And I believe like Operation Mindcrime, wasn't this supposed to be a concept album as well? I don't know. anyway, yeah, it's a great album. It's got great songs like, of course, Jet City Woman and Silent Lucidity, which are both fanfares. But I think my favorite song is actually the title track. Yeah, they played that live when I saw them, and yeah, Todd La Torre totally did it justice. Like I said, he sounds a lot like Jeff Tate in his prime, and yeah, Empire, the title track, such a great song. Yeah, can you feel it crawling? Yeah, it's just awesome. Yeah, awesome album. There's a really cool music video for that song too. But yeah, Empire is just really, really good. Just top notch.
Definitely.
Magnificent album. Some great songwriting. Just really, really high quality stuff for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The most successful, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
One of my favorite 1990 metal albums, along with Rest in Peace by Megadeth and Painkiller by Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Great stuff. Love it.
Yeah. And my number 2 is going to be Empire.
Nice.
I love this album. A lot of great tracks on here. Once again, Jet City Woman's a very catchy one. The Best I Can, love that one. And of course, Silent Lucidity, which is arguably their most popular song, but I never get tired of it. Like, I love it. And this was probably at the height of their popularity because, while there was still some pretty good albums after this, nothing really got to this point or the one before it that we'll get to. But yeah, excellent album, great vocals, great production, everything about it. I love Empire.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. You got a nice special edition there, looks like.
Oh yeah, it's like the
super deluxe edition or something.
I believe so. It's like a
wow,
it's nice. Yeah,
that's better than mine. Just a standard.
Oh,
I have the remastered version.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my number 2. Empire. Spoiler alert. But yeah, awesome album, and like I said, this is their most successful album. This is the one that just blew them up, and they became one of the biggest bands in the world. At that time.
I agree.
It's funny because they're from Seattle, but they weren't grunge.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they were before that.
Yeah.
Before the grunge era took over.
But I even like a lot of the B-sides on here. Like Della Brown is a great kind of like slow kind of bass song, and
yeah.
The Thin Line. I walk the thin line for you.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, of course, the big hits are great, and Best I Can, Empire is amazing. Silent City, Anybody Listening is another awesome, really epic song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody listening? I would say that Jeff Tate kind of didn't have so many of the high notes here. That's kind of where he did start being a little more safe, a little more safe with his voice, but his deep vocals are great.
Yeah, oh yeah, he can still sing his ass off even when it's not the high notes.
Like he hit him when he needed to, but just right. Because this album kicks ass.
Hell
absolutely. So my number 2 is going to be Operation Mindcrime, but really, like, this is actually kind of equal with Empire. These are kind of a tie, really. I don't think I can really pick one over the other. I kind of like them just the same. In fact, I think there might actually be more songs on Empire that I love. So really, it's kind of a tie. I don't know. They're kind of just both equal. I guess I just had to pick one over another just for the sake of the list, and I guess I went with this one for whatever reason. But I think I like them the same amount. Yeah, they're both just as great in my opinion. Yeah, great songs. Of course, "Eyes of a Stranger" is probably the biggest hit from this album. It's one of their most well-known songs. Those the single, and like that's a fan favorite. It probably is my favorite song on the album. Actually, it's a really really good song. Very 80s. Yeah, they played that when I saw them live too, and of course, Top of Tour definitely did it justice, and they just tore it up. It was awesome. Yeah, some of the good songs. Yeah, Anarchy X, Revolution Calling, the title track, Speak, Spreading Disease. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was a concept album, and it's a very, 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 very
Yeah.
good one. They definitely had a lot to say. They had some kind of politically charged lyrics and some pretty interesting, deep, thought-provoking themes. Some interesting like ideologies and like told a pretty interesting, coherent story. So it kind of speaks to you a little bit. The lyrics kind of offer something to something to think about.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like the typical metal like I want to kill everybody or whatever. It was kind of a little more deep and more thought provoking and kind of intricate and compelling, which was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think I kind of just consider both these equal. I think I like them just as much. I actually might listen to Empire a little more. I might have put them in the wrong order, but oh well. Empire probably should have been my number 2, so whatever. We can just retcon that and say that, just reverse these. But like I said, I kind of like them just as much. It's very,
Awesome.
very
Nice.
close.
Excellent.
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's a tie.
Sounds
There you
good.
go.
I can't pick one or the other. It's too hard.
That's tough.
Yeah.
They're both so great. It's like trying to pick Iron Maiden's debut against Killers. I can't decide between them. They're both so awesome.
Mhm.
But with my number 1, it's a very high album in my top 5 albums of all time. Operation Mindcrime. Oh, I love this album. Like I said, it's literally in my top 5 favorite metal albums in general. It's a great concept album. Every song is awesome. I love Spreading the Disease. I love that song. I Don't Believe in Love is a great one. Eyes of a Stranger, probably my favorite one on here too. I Remember Now. Love that song.
Phenomenal.
Yes, just everything about this album. So good. It's a masterpiece. It's the perfect mix of old Queensrÿche, new Queensrÿche, and just perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, number 1, baby. This is my favorite metal album ever.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love every song on this. Like you said, every song is awesome. How many albums can you say about that? Not
No.
one weak song on here. Brilliant.
Yes.
Like I said, this Jeff Tate was still at peak here before he kind of, played it safe a little bit on Empire. He still kills it on this album.
Yeah.
Beautifully written lyrics, and the playing is so great. Chris DeGarmo absolutely kills it on guitar on this album.
Yeah.
Everybody's just firing on all cylinders. Scott Rockenfield, Michael Wilton, Eddie Jackson are just all awesome on this album. I can sing like all the lyrics to like every song. I could do a full karaoke session on this, but I would sound like crap, but but I know like all the words and I always sing along to everything. It's amazing. Can't say enough about it. It's genius, brilliant, absolutely masterpiece.
Most definitely.
Yeah, you guys are right. I changed my mind. Yeah. Empire's number 3 and Operation Mindcrime's number 2. That is still very close. You're right. Now that I think about it, I think I do prefer Operation Mindcrime ever so slightly over Empire.
Nice.
I need to listen to them both tonight.
Yeah.
It's still very close, but I think I was right the first time. But my number one favorite Queensrÿche release, since we're including it, is actually going to be the Queensrÿche EP.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Pretty much their first release. This is the first thing I heard from them. And I think it's just because Queen of the Reich is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. It was the first song I heard by them, and I was immediately hooked. I was immediately blown away. I was like, holy crap, that song is freaking awesome. It's kind of heavy. It's kind of thrashy. Jeff Tate comes in with that opening scream, and then his vocal acrobatics are just insane. It's just freaking phenomenal. It just blows me away every time. Oh, the song gives me chills. Still one of the best songs I've ever heard. And the other songs are great too. Lady Wore Black, of course, that's a great one. Yeah, Knight Rider Blinded. There's only 4 tracks, so it's probably kind of weird that I put this as number 1, but I just think it's that good, especially that song. It's still one of the best things I've ever heard. I think it's by far the best thing they've ever done. After that, like the rest of their albums, when they had Jeff Tate, they kind of slowed it down a little more. Kind of went for more like ballady type stuff, which is fun. It's still great. Like they're really good at that too. But I don't think anything they've ever done comes quite close to the song "Queen of the Reich." And when they played that live, it just blew me away. I was in heaven. I was like, "Holy crap, this is so good!" I wish it was Jeff Tate singing it, but it was still awesome. Yeah, such an awesome song. Queen of the Reich. Yeah, so awesome. Yeah. Nobody can do it like Tate.
The night that goes take away.
It's the ending of your precious life. So this CD actually has a lot of live bonus tracks, so it's almost like a full-length album, even though it's just live tracks,
Yeah.
Really, really good. And it's also the only Queensrÿche release I own on vinyl. This is actually an original first issue pressing too. This is from back then, original press. So yeah, I had to get that. It's my favorite Queensrÿche release by far. It'll always been my number 1 favorite. I didn't know we're including EPs, but once you included that, I was like, okay, well that one just shot to the top of my list. This is by far my favorite thing they've ever done. It's
awesome.
It's
such an important one for them. It's hard to ignore that.
Oh, it's so sick. And Jeff Tate actually wasn't a full-fledged member of the band yet. He was busy with another band, and he was just kind of a session member, kind of a hired gun singing with them. But then once the other band dissolved, he became a full-time member. So fun fact. Then, of course, Chris DeGarmo left the band, and Jeff Tate left, and kind of on bad terms. Then, even Scott Rockenfield left. So, there's only 2 original members. It would have been really cool to see them with their original lineup. I really wish I had. It's still cool seeing them live. They still, tore it up, even though it wasn't, it was only 2 of the original members with, 3 new guys. But yeah, there they are. Yeah, I love these guys. Very, very talented. Jeff Tate is in my Mount Rushmore of metal vocalists, along with Rob Halford. Rob Halford, Ryan James Dio, Bruce Dickinson, and Jeff Tate. That's my Mount Rushmore of metal vocalists.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
I think I could do the high notes. Let me try real quick. I did it.
Damn.
Good job.
Wow.
You nailed it. You said it just like Jeff Tate in his prime.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Almost like you became him for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah. I even heard the guitars and everything. That was impressive.
Yeah. How'd you do that?
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
Would you record it before you?
Yeah.
Such a great song. Yeah. It just, oh man, when I first heard it, I was like, this is one of the best things I've ever heard. Like, like straight up.
Phenomenal.
Legit one of the greatest metal songs ever. I still think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a lot of great music. In my opinion, nothing they've ever done quite lives up to that. But they still have a lot of killer material for sure. That definitely comes very close.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Excellent picks, guys.
Yeah.
Another fun show.
Yeah, it's a
Absolutely.
blast.
Awesome.
Good time.
Everybody rewatch this now.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, we didn't have a very active live chat, but yeah, thank you everybody who did join us here in the Morbid Hour, the horror and metal channel.
Yeah.
Have a great
All right,
night, guys.
You too.
Peace out.
Peace. Till next time.
See you next time.
Later.